there. Simply, you can remember that in our exact A-level curriculum, we said about the main keywords, data, as well as information on the last class. Right. Then we had detailed discussions behind these two, mentioning what data, what information are. Right. And also, have you done ICT for O levels? Fine. Have a certain idea. What about you? Did you do ICT for O levels? Doesn't matter, right? Then, as I you all know that the first day we did only 1 day previous day. Then the recording of the last days there in the website. You can get it. Then you can cover that in detail. But just to have a continuation, just revise what we did on the last class. Something like this. Right? Now we set a concept called as data and information. There we said that data and information. You can remember that I said that these two are having similar meanings when it comes to the general language. So forget about ICT. We say data and information are the same. As I said, I said those examples. And simply say that. So I say that I'm telling that I'll say that I have a car. I have a car. Then that's going to be an information. You will get to know that this person has a car. And some people say that that's a data. Then, as I said earlier, data, information are quite similar.
Then, so in ICT, the two main keywords are data as well as information. Okay. Then these are revision, especially for the people who are there. But for the newcomers, I'm just telling those. Simply, data, information are having similar meanings. That's okay. But when it comes to ICT, we are going to differentiate these two having some value. Data are these, information are these. This comes only when it comes to the field of ICT. Right. Now, regarding the field of ICT, the difference is we said that data are what? What are they? So if it is to be told as data, it should be raw. Raw means not prepared, not processed. That's what the raw idea is. But information are results. So then simply we say that they are always products, results. These are. So I said some examples, especially for the newcomers. I'm just explaining this again to get a certain idea. Whenever we go for a shop, right, and I'm listing down the unit price of the item, so that it's going to be 25, the same unit price. Then, say that I got a certain product, I read it as 25. Then I just read it. If it is a case, is this something called as raw or result? I took the product, 25 rupees. Is that going to be considered in our level as result, or is that going to be told as raw something? It's raw. Why? I just read it. I didn't do anything to make it as a result. If you get something results, that has to be processed. Results means we have to do something, addition, subtraction, then only we get the results. But this is not like that. We just read it. That's going to be raw. And then in my side, I may buy 5 such items. I'm collecting 5. Right? Still, that's quantity of the items is going to be raw. Then next thing is I'm going to go for this. Now I'm going to calculate the total amount to be paid. What is the total amount that I have to pay? One item is 25, I got 5. Then I want to multiply. So the way I get this is 25 into 5. So the answer is coming like 125. Then is this row or it is going to be a result? Result A, I am working on them and got this effect. So if this is going to be a result, how do you define this? Is this being defined as data or information? Information. These are raw, so we call them as data. On the other way around, we can go to the inverse of the concept. Now simply when I consider data, we say that when I consider data, once the data are processed, it's a process, then we get the information. Then information are always results which are obtained by processing data. Right? So then data are raw. Then further I'm telling that when it comes to information, information are made, information are prepared with the help of data. And in the earlier case, I said that the total amount I have to pay, total pay. That's going to be a result. These results have been obtained by unit price as well as the quantity. And the results were made using what? Data. The same as well. If we have something prepared to get this answer, we use some values. They are called as data. That's another way. But the perfect definition of data are raw facts and figures. Information are results always, or we can call it as process results. And further, when there are results, we may find what are the facts which were used to prepare these results. So they are defined as data. That's okay. Now, I just revised it on behalf of the people who were not there on the last class. And further, when I continue the data information, we said that the data, the information we mean. So the information has to be good information, or we can call this as valid information. Then if it is going to be good or valid, what are the features we expect in information? We did that in the last class. Information we obtain has to be good. And what are the features we know? Those have to be earlier. My unit price is 20 rupees. I got 5 items. Then my total pay is 290. What is information now? This. What are data? These two. Why these two are used to make this? Right. Then is this information good information or bad information? Why bad? My answer is wrong. And if the information is to be good, what is one feature we expect? It has to be accurate. If it is not accurate, we don't say it as a valid or good information. Right? So it is completely information. We got it, but the way we did that is completely wrong. Then on the other hand, we say that the information we obtain has to be up to date. Or we call this as matching with the timeline. So then, according to the correct timeline, I want the answers. Now, even in this case, I don't want the current total amount, not the last week total amount into the same shop. I might have visited the same shop. By that time, I might have purchased 10 items. Then there would be a certain value. That's not the answer I want. I want the current value. Right? So then therefore the results we get should be matching with the timeline. Some other features of good information, not correct. Matching with the timeline, good, accurate, or we say that reliable. This is another important word for us. What is reliability? Trustworthy. The information has to be a trusted information. That's one another feature we expect in our information. Trusted. That means information should be provided from a trusted source. Just like when it is prepared from a computer, when this calculation is done by a computer, will you trust on it or have a doubt? In the supermarket, your total bill is computed by a human or the computer. Computer will do the calculations. Is any doubt on that? Then that should have a good information. But if it is done by a human in manual way, now there will be a small doubt whether their calculation is wrong or correct. Right? Then this is one unfixed. And further is that it should be understandable. Able to understand. Further, it should be accessible. These are some other features of good information or valid information in our context. Right. Then further, we said about data in another detail. I think we did about data are in two categories. What are they? Unlike quantitative data, quantitative. Other one is qualitative. What is quantitative data? Quantitative. That means quantity. That's a particular data which is available as a quantity, which is given as a number, value. So they are called as quantitative data. Then in my earlier thing, I said that unit price, the quantity I obtained, unit price is 20 rupees, quantity I got 5 items. These are data. With respect to the total pay. Total pay is 100 rupees. And in this manner, are these quantitative data or not? Are these quantitative? Yes. Hey, this has some quantity measure, value, number. Right? Unit price is 20. That's a data which is going to be a measurable data. Then what are qualitative data? Data, now simply this can be measured. Data which can be measured or counted. Right. Then qualitative means what is the situation? Data can't be measured as yet. So they are not able to measure. And simply they are talking about the features. Now, some of the features, I said you that. Now, simply the smoothness of the skin. That's a data I just touch some surface and said, oh, this is so smooth. This is too rough. Then that's something raw I obtain. I just, no, it's not. It's raw, I just feel it. Then that's going to be data. But can you measure how rough it is? We don't have scaling. They are called as qualitative data, their features. Right? Then simply we can say that the smoothness of a surface. Then likewise, we can just come up with data in two categories, quantitative as well as qualitative. I just revised these two, what we did of given after. And further, with respect to information, then we had some other point, some other important thing called as golden rule of information. And this is a place where we stopped the last discussion. Another important feature in our ICT, this was tested in a few papers, even it will be tested in the future as well. Now, this is with respect to information. Information are raw results. Information given? Results. And now, with respect to the results, we are defining a certain rule. Right? That's called as golden rule. You can remember. What is the main area to cover the golden rule? Or golden rule says that what? What piece of information? Value of information. Right? So golden rule says that here, just to mention that golden rule information means the value of information. Value of information is decreasing what? Over the time. The value of information, so information has a value. That particular value will reduce over the time. That's the point. Then how can that be? Now, still I won't explain this further. Now, we said that, again, I took the same example what I told on the last class. Now, you may get your O-level results in the near future. Is there an information for you? Yes. Now, results are prepared by doing a big work at the Department of Examination. So, it will be produced as the information. Now, is that in whenever you get your O-level results, do you have a value in it? Or just no value, no sense? It has whatever results you get, right? Sometimes it may be a bad result, then you may suffer on it. It has value, right? This is my O-level results. You may get a big result. It has a very big value. Right? So likewise, we define a certain value onto the results that you obtain with respect to the results you got. Then, just to emphasize that, then that result has a value. Then, when will that value be highest? At the time where the information had been released. Whenever the government informs that today midnight, the O-level results will be announced, then you are highly embarrassed on it. You're highly concerned on it at what time the results will be released. Then as soon as the results are released, you people are obtaining it. Then you will call your parents, you will call your other relatives, your teachers, and celebrate it. But if that celebration happens every day, that means that's the time where the peak value is there. Right? So on the other way around, whenever these days we have surprise parties. Why we are using these surprise events? To make the value of the event highest. We have seen videos and you have entitled to such events as well. Then by that time, what will happen? Now, most of it we just cover their eyes and bring them into the room. And then suddenly we open the eyes with light on, switch on, what are the sounds and what are everything are clapping, everyone are clapping. Then in that manner, it is the peak time where the highest value is there. Then after starting the party, we keep on enjoying that. But after 2-3 days, that value is reduced. That's the same idea. So value of information reduces over the time. So we can plot that in a graph. So then if you go for the value on this axis, if you go for the time on this axis, at what time the value would be higher? The place where the information has been released. This is the place where the information has been released. At that time, the information value has the highest value. And over time, that value is reducing, and the rule is at a certain point, the value becomes constant. It won't be zero. Again, think of that event, the surprise party. Then someday you can revise that, and that's a nice memory for you. We can't say, oh, you can talk like that, but you have a certain value on it. Therefore, under the golden rule, this is the graph. Highest value is there where the event had been taken place, and the value will reduce over the time. That's a golden rule. Right. Then this work for you. Right. Now I'll come up with the golden rule in this manner. I'll go to a graph like this. Because if the tools are available smartphone, I'll just use like this. It will take time, otherwise you can have this tool. Okay, got it. Now decide the value, this side, the time, right? Now I may go for a certain event like this. Is this matching with the golden rule or not? What's the golden rule? Value of the information reduces over the time. This graph is for a certain event. Is this matching with the golden rule or not? Now decide value, decide time. Then along with this graph, which place has the highest value? Somewhere in the middle or at this place. Then along the line, is this value increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. And after some time, is the value remain the same or going further to the zero line? It continues, right? And now, is this matching with the golden rule or not? It is. It is matching with the golden rule. Fine, no issue. Then I'm going to go for another graph. You write this down. Right. Then I'll go to one other event. Is this the yellow color bar? Okay. Is this complying with the golden rule? I may label this as the event A. Then I may label the red color one as the event B. Right. Then are these matching with the golden rule or not? Yes. A yellow color one is also having the highest value here, and that the value B is decreasing very quickly. With a small time limit, the value goes down very quickly, and that remains constant. Right? Then I'm going to go for another graph. For this as event C. Is this matching with golden rule? It is. Right. Then one another graph. This D. Is this complying with golden rule? Why not? Highest value is there, reducing over the time. But what is wrong? This doesn't go parallel to the time axis. So it is mentioned that this may reach the time axis, then the value will be 0. It can't. Correct? And this is the only event which is not matching with the golden rule, whereas other things A, B, C are matching with the golden rule. You understand that? Now I'm asking questions. Among these, which event starts at first? What is the first event to be started at first? Which event is the first to be started? A the B the C the D the. ඉස්සරහම පටන් ගන්නද කොහොමද? අයියෝ. Should we focus the value side or time axis? ISRO means time, right? Then which had taken place at first? Right? This is the time axis. Right? Time is continuing, right? Starting from 0. If so, which had been started at first? T, right? Then after that, D had been taken place, A as well as B. And now the first to start is the event C. In that manner, which one is the last to start? Last event is B. Along with the time axis, B had started at the end. That's going to be B. Then I'm asking which has the highest value of the event. Which has highest value? Event A. Then I'm asking which event has the highest demand. Which event has the highest demand? What is demand? English. Demand. Normally in the society. So pretty girls have highest demand. Right? Then what happens here? Highest demand. Okay, forget about girls. We'll go to James. Do they have a higher demand? James, we are in the industry, but do they have higher demand? In our level, we don't have any value on it, right? Fine. But with respect to the society, gems are the expensive or cheap? Gems. Expensive. Why it is expensive? So that, no, I don't know the price. So that's what's more gem. Whatever the again. There are many varieties, right? When I don't know much about it. So certain gem, can you buy that for 5 rupees? No, it may be in 50,000, 100,000, 500,000. Big values are there, right? Why is it? It has a higher value. High value එකක් තියෙනවා. We can't eat it even at least when you're hungry. මොන කෙනෙක් මෙච්චර value එකක් තියෙනවා. පොත්තුවක් ගත්තා මොකද 2000යි 2009 ඒක අපිට නෑ කාලෙකින් ඉන්නත් ඕනේ. මේක රුපියල් 50000යි. Hey, why is it? This has a higher demand. Then say that I have a gym. I'm selling this for 50,000 rupees. Are there people to buy that? No, I'm telling that I'm selling this for 50,000 rupees. Will there be people to buy that? Yes. That's why it has that market pricing. The people are buying that. And they may use that for their decorations or whatever. That's a good story. Here, why this has a higher value? Since it has a demand. Then I just take one of the stone and then I'm selling this for 50,000 rupees. Then will people get this for 50,000 rupees? Even foreigners or whoever? No. It has no demand. Wherever you go, we can find it, right? But gems are like that. They have a higher demand since they are very rare. That's something economic side, right? So then rare resources have higher value. Then common resources have lower. That's another story. But what I want to mention here is when it comes to the field of golden rule, value of information, now I want to say that now what I want to say is when it comes to the events where they have higher value, they should have a higher demand. Since it has a demand, the value is increasing. You understand? Right? Now, when it comes to, again, I'm telling you the gem. So, gem, it has a higher demand. That's why people are telling that 50,000 rupees. Then, when there are many people to buy, after that, initially I said, I'm selling this for 50,000 rupees. Another person says that, can't I get your gem for 60,000 rupees? Then I'm okay, then our first person, sorry, this person is asking for 60,000 rupees, I'll give it that for you. Another person said, can you please give that for me 75,000 rupees? Now, this is so valuable. It has a higher demand. Since it has a higher demand, the value is increasing. You understand that? That's another concept. Here I'm asking, among these events, which has the highest demand? I need the answer. Which has the highest demand? A the, B the, C the, D the. Highest demand is therefore the event A. This has the highest value. So highest value means it has a highest demand. And highest demand is there event A. Right? The reason is event A has the highest value. Now, demand and the value, are they going hand in hand? Value of the event as well as the demand of the event. So they are going parallel. Right? So then that's the other point I want to highlight to. When it comes to the golden rule, we can come up with some decisions among them, considering many more events as well as the value, including the demand as well. Right? Then shall we continue our note behind this? Right? So we have the golden rule on there. Shall we take a graph like this? Right? So then, for the people who missed the first lesson, you may leave how many pages? Two pages. Yes, one, yes. Then three pages, right? Leave three pages for together. And then I will write a small statement, telling that example. We'll write a small statement, example. Consider three events, right? Consider three events. Consider three events named as, consider three events named as A, consider three events named as A, B, C, and D. Consider three events named as A, B, C, and D. Right. Then shall we take this graph? Tackle the relative axis, this line axis, and take that in that manner, right? So D is going down directly. Very important. Right. Then take the graph for that. This side line, this side value, and continue the graph. And the other item 7511. This may be a 200. Database. There is. Right. Then whenever the barcode of an item is exposed, this item code is compared with the database. Compare with that. Now they can find the item where the customer has purchased is this. Yes, everyone. Item code meaning now. Our say it is going to be compared with the database. Then can the company detect the price of the item, name of the item? And all hang මොන මේටි පඩ ඔලු දෙන්න නෑ දැන් අර මම ෆෝන් අත ගන්න. Right. Now the thing is now these facts are the basics, right? Like at the moment, normally unit 1, unit 2 in our ICT syllabus is laying the foundation to continue our 13 chapters. The foundation I want to open your views towards all the areas. Then only you will be fit with whatever we are talking in the future. The thing is, we have a separate chapter called database. Right? But now you have to have a certain idea. Now, there are people who have not done ICT for levels. There are people who have done them. But whatever the person, you can't remember this. You know, you have done this in a different manner. So that's why I'm emphasizing this. Therefore, whatever we do are important. I'm not doing nonsense here. Right? Okay. Context එකට වැදගත් දේවල් තමයි මම කරන්නේ. මම අනික් කාට කම්ප්ලීට් කරනව නෙමෙයි. ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට ක්ලාස් වල සමහර අපි ළමයි ක්ලාස් එකකින් හොඳ රස කතා දෙකක් තුනක් කියලා මම hina අස්සවලා ඉන්නේ ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලුවා වගේ කන්ටෙන්ට් එකක් කරනවා හොඳයි. ඒක හොඳයි ජොලියට. But A level is a challenge. Okay? So then in my concept, my main target is to spend every minute on you focusing on the A level exam. නැත්තම් මටත් මෙතන තව වෙන දෙකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන. බැලුවා නෙවෙයි. But I know that every minute I'm spending with you is highly valuable for your final levels. For the moment, you don't have any idea about A levels, right? You don't know. Because you are just selecting classes these days. අර ක්ලාස් කරනවා මේ ක්ලාස් කරනවා හැමදාම ගිහලා යනවා. ඕකේ තව පොඩි දෙයක් මම කියන්නේ මේ කාලේ ගොඩාක් ගුරුවරුත් කියන්නේ එක. මම කියන්නේත් එහෙම තමයි. මේ වෙලාවේ ක්ලාසස් වල ගිහින් බලන්න කියලා කියනවා. හැබැයි ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉඳලා අද දවසේ ඉන්නවා. හරියන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ දවසේ ඉන්නවා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම කරපුවම කොහොමද හරියන්නේ නැහැ තමයි. ක්ලාස් එක හොඳයිද නරකයිද කියලා එක දවසක් උගන්වන දෙයක් සෙට් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියනවා. ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. එතකොට මම කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ එහෙම ජජ් කරන්න බෑ. එංගොල්ලෝ කමක් නැහැ. මිනිහෙක් නෙක්නේ මම සර් කෙනෙක්. මාව ඒවට ජජ් කරන්න බෑ. What you can assess is you can identify whether my pattern is matching with you. ඔච්චරයි පුළුවන්. මේ මනුස්සයා කරන pattern එක මට සෙට්. That's only, but you can't judge everything, right? If I am compatible with you, you feel that මේ මනුස්සයා කියන දේ මට තේරෙනවා. ඒක තේරෙන්න you have to be in the class in the mode of learning. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ ක්ලාස් එකට එන්නේ ටෙස්ට් කරන්න කියන මෝඩ් එකෙන් නම් ඕක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඕකේ හොඳම දේ තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ වෙලාවේ in YouTube you have minimum lessons available. නේද? නිකන් මම කියන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට අපේ මේ chapter 4 වල තියෙන YouTube lesson එකක් කරලා මගේ YouTube channel එකේ තියෙනවා. මේ lesson එක බැලුවොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට with the intention I am testing this teacher you can't grab anything. intention is fine. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න මම chapter 4 මම අරගෙන බලනවා මේ කවුවන්නේ මට තේරෙනවද කියලා. දැන් ඔයා ගේමින් ඉන්නේ. උගන්වනවා මම බලන්නේ මම උගන්වනවා කියලා. Then you can't get it. But if you have the intention of, yes, I'll learn this, then you may get the facts. Then, especially in learning and teaching, first you have to build the trust on the teacher. ඒ trust එක නේද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ කියලා. අර මම කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මංගාවට ආවා වෙන සර් කෙනෙක් ගාවට ගියා ඕන සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකදී මේ මිනිස්සයා මම ටෙස්ට් කරන්න යන්නේ කියලා කිව්වොත් ඔක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක හන්දා ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ වෙලාව නිකන් දැන් වෙලාව දිනුවා වෙලාව දින්නවා ඕගොල්ලෝ අවුට් ඉන්නවා මම කියන්නේ මේ වෙලාව ඕගොල්ලෝ කරන්න තියෙන දේ තමයි you better get the feedback from your seniors. That's the best method to assess the teacher or select a teacher. Right? Your relatives may be your school relations or school seniors. Karin hari take some advice from a successful character who guided you to get this achievement. People who got A's, people who got B's, who are successful. Get some advice from them. They will say that, me sir gawata giyot me deyak වට වෙනවා. මෙයා ගාවට ගියොත් now they are experienced in A levels. With that you may follow some teachers. And then according to their guidelines, you may just sit on a certain class with the intention of learning, not with the intention of testing the teacher. You will miss teachers, so that's the problem. අර ඇන්ගල් එකේ තව මිස් කරගන්නවා. හොඳ ටීචර්ස් ලා ගොඩක් අය මිස් කරගන්නවා. එයි ඔයා ඉන්නේ උඹ ගන්නවා මම බෝ චෙක් කරන්න ආවේ. පොලිසියෙන් වගේ ඒක බලන්න. ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. කීරොත් දෙන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මිස් කරගන්න එක. ඒක හන්දා මේ වෙලාවේ ටෙස්ට් කරන්න with the guidance don't come to the class with the intention of testing. ඉස්සරහ ක්ලාස් එක හදාගෙන ඉන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් වැඩි කරන්න බෑ කියලා. හරි. Then make I know that most of the people here, you didn't get the things. They get that. එහෙම වුණොත් මේ කරන දේවල් කිසි තේරුමක් නැති වෙනවා. අර මගේ පටන් ගත්තත් ඒකයි. මම උගන්වන්නේ එක විනාඩියක්වත් ආස් නොකරන විදිහට. ෆස්ට් ඩේ එක නම් අපි දැන් අතට අවුරුදු දෙකක් හරියටම අපිට දෙනවා. ඒ අවුරුදු දෙකේදී මට මේක ලස්සනට කව කරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. පේපර් ලෑස්ති කරලා, රිවිෂන් ටික කරලා ඔක්කොම කරන්න පුළුවන්. There are evidence in my history. Seniors lage කාගේ හරි අහලා බලන්න මේ මෑන් ගාවට ගියොත් මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Then they will tell about myself. Come to me with that trust. Otherwise, you will not. Okay? About myself. Then in this case, what I want to say is regarding the life cycle of data. Now I want to highlight the life cycle of data. There I'm saying that one example, the sales counter. So we have the barcode readers available. Barcodes are exposed. Then inside the computer, there's a database maintaining the product details that they are maintaining the shop. Shop again, product details are maintained. All the products they are selling. Say that there's a bookshop, then pencil case, the books, whatever the other novels and everything are listed. ඔක්කොම database එක කලින් දාලා තියෙනවා. Whenever a barcode is exposed from a product, the item code represented by the barcode will be read, and that item code is compared with the database. Who does this comparison? Operator, computer. Company is doing that comparison, and then retrieve the price of the item. Now they will know the price of the item as 200 rupees. And they know that price name is pencil case. Can't those details be added into the bill to do the printing? They print. Then, in this case, what about this item code? Data information. Data. What about extracted details here? From the item code, the price and the name of the item are obtained. Are they going to be data information in this context? Information. And they were obtained as a word, results. In the previous example, the unit price will be data. Then one value can be told in different angles. Price කියන එකම data කියලා කියනවා, සමහරවිට information කියලා කියනවා. Depending on the context, it's different. Right. Now the point is, in this case, there are some data to be handled. The main data here we deal with is barcode. For these types of data in a system like this, now we are dealing with a system, sales complex system. In this system, we are going to define something called as life cycle of data. Now, it is very simple, having 3 steps only. In it says that data creation. This is the first stage. And after that, the next step is data manipulation. Manipulating data. And after that, removal of obsolete data. Now, this is what the 3 steps are. Right? But since the other code is quite clear. Uh, Data creation, then data manipulation, after that, removal of obsolete data. This is going to be the life cycle of data. Very simple. What is data creation? Creating the data. In my early sales count example, what place is creating data? Barcode reader. Okay. Here we have the computer barcode reader that will create the data. From the barcode, they scan it and create the item code. Then after creating those data, the particular data is sent into the system. Then what is going on there? Manipulation. Manipulation means they use this item code to compare with the database, extract in the files, likewise. They work on it. Manipulating means they work on the particular data. After doing those work, they may extract the price of the item, the name of the item, those are extracted. And then what is the next thing? Removal of obsolete data. What is obsolete data? Obsolete is outdated. Outdated means those data are no longer in use. That means I have exposed the barcode of the first item that is being processed, giving the price and the values. That's it. Then the system should be cleared, making it ready to get the next set of data. Barcode එක ගෙනවට රෙස්ටෝරන්ට් barcode එක ඇල්ලුවා. ඒක price එක display කරා. ඒක bill එකට ඇඩ්. ඊළඟ අනිත් barcode එක expose කරන්න බෑ. Then the earlier data, the earlier barcode should be still available in the system or should be removed from the system. Remove and make it clear for the next set of data. Enough. Create the data, they were manipulated, and then removing those data. And the next step is started creating the next set of data. And then they are being manipulated, again removing them. So then this is done in cyclic manner until we escape, until we exit from the system. Okay, now this is what happens to the data in a particular system. Now, systematically it should continue. So this is repeatedly used. One example I took is sales count. Right? So there are many other examples. We'll take few of them. For the moment, I hope that you got the idea. Telling what these concepts are. Right. Then like the not life cycle of data. The life cycle of data. Under the like Background data, the like whenever the data, whenever the data, whenever the data are handled in, whenever the data are handled in a system, whenever the data are handled in a system, the specific data, the specific data are repeatedly used. Specific data are repeatedly used to continue the activities, to continue the activities of the system, to continue the activities of the system, where where the types of data, where the types of data, where the types of data are repeatedly, cyclically, are repeatedly, cyclically processed by, repeatedly, cyclically processed by the system. Next one. This and data is a life cycle. Data creation, data manipulation, removal of obsolete data. Take the cycle. Then we'll go through them step by step. Now, next we'll write data creation and say what it is. As a keyword, data creation, and with hyphen say the explanation behind it. First step is data creation. They will like data creation. And they will like data must be introduced. Another one, data creation. Data must be introduced. Data must be introduced into the system. Introduced into the system as the first step. As the first step. Then the second one, data manipulation. That's keyword data manipulation. Very right. Then we can write the received data into the system. The received data into the system is used. Is used. Received data in the system is used for processing. Is used for processing. In order to produce, in order to produce the expected, in order to produce the expected results. In order to produce the expected results. Then the third step, removal of obsolete data. Removal of obsolete. Obsolete, right? Outdated. Right? Removal of obsolete or outdated data. Then like removal of obsolete or outdated data. Once the processing is completed, once the processing is completed, once the processing is completed, come on, the specific data, the specific data is removed. The specific data is removed from the system to make the system ready for the next cycle to process. To make the system ready for the next cycle to process. That's what the next cycle, that's what the last statement is. Right? Now these are the steps. Then I'll take an example and then mention how it is going to be. Right? We like the example, let's say example. With respect to this, right? Example. Consider example. Consider a sales counter. Consider a sales counter system. Consider a sales counter system with consider a sales counter system with a barcode reader, a printer, with a printer, a computer, and a database to prepare the bill, prepare the bill for each item, prepare the bill for each item purchased. Then can you take this drawing quickly to explain the life cycle? Right? Here we have a computer. Here we have the barcode reader. And we expose the barcode with this item code. Right? Then that is going to be passing through the cable towards the computer. And this is going to be the data read into the computer, read by the barcode reader. And inside the computer, there's a database available like this. There it has the item code, price, and the name available. Right? Right. Then name available. Then these are the items that has been entered already. Then the item code 75871 is reaching, and then the price, name are extracted and sent into the printer. Correct? To prepare the bill, the price 200 and the name pencil case will be printed. So then that's what the example I'm going to take to explain this. Taking number reading. This is a computer. Now take with spacious, right? This is the barcode reader තියෙනවා. මෙයා barcode එක තියෙනවා. අද data දෙයක්. ඔයාලා ඒක නිසා we got this. In the database as well. So that data availability. And here you may indicate this as data, like barcode reader will read those data, and they are being passed here. So we highlight the comparable processes, right? This processing work, comparing the red barcode with the table and extracting the price, name, and everything. They are being given to the printer to produce the final results. And then we'll talk about the data processing life cycle with respect to this example. Right? We have an example. This life cycle has to be told using this particular example. That's what we are going to complete here. We set the example, consider a system where the barcode reader, computer, printer, and database is used in sales count. Right. Then like after the drawing, like then we like example is like data creation. For this example, we like data creation and with hyphen say what it is. This example, then we like the first step, data creation. Let data creation with hyphen right. The barcode reader, the barcode reader, data creation with respect to this example, barcode reader is reading the barcode reader is reading the item code. Barcode reader is reading item code from the printed barcodes to create data into the system. To create data into the system. To create data into the system. Next one. There's a data creation, right? Barcode reader is the one to create this. Next one, we like data manipulation. Next step. Data manipulation. This is what it is. Data manipulation. Very likely. The barcode, sorry, the item code, sorry, item code, the item code added into the system, the item code added into the system is compared, barcode added into the system is compared with the database to extract, with the database to extract the price, command name, to extract the price, command name of the item. Price, command name of the item. Price, command name of the item. And displaying them to the user even by displaying them to the user even by printing them, even by printing them. What is that? Data creation and data manipulation. Manipulation data are being handled, right? So this is a certain activity done by the system to deal with this data to produce expected results. And then like further under data manipulation, another point, right? These are another point under the data manipulation. These are the processing, these are the processing, these are the processing done by the system, these are the processing done by the system as data manipulation, as data manipulation. Then what is the last stage of data processing life cycle? You know, creation, manipulation, what is the one? Removal of obsolete data. Next one, removal of obsolete data. What is it? You know, what's going on there? Removing the data from the system. Will that happen in this sales count system as well? Yes, the earlier barcode will be processed and extract the price and the name. That is, we put in the print and print the bill. That's all. Then they are being removed from the system, making it clear for the next set of data to be inserted. So that done by the system itself. Okay? Like further means whatever. Third one, removal of the data. Right? The above barcode value, the above barcode value, the next item code. The above barcode value, the merchant item code, is removed from the system once the processing is completed. And making the system ready and making the system ready for the next cycle to process. In this data processing life cycle, there are 3 steps, as I said earlier. Data creation, manipulation, and removal of obsolete data. Right? Now, one more point, right? Now, these are the backgrounds behind the questions. Then, how often this cycle is iterating? What is the time duration? First cycle and the second cycle. What is the time limit among them? Will that be hours, minutes, or some seconds? And where sales count example is the one we took. Then, once the first cycle is over, the second cycle will be starting. How long will it be taking? Yeah, most probably depending on the busyness of the shop. These days, maybe in seconds. But in the other days, sometimes in minutes, sometimes in hours even, right? If it is not a popular shop, then mama them Indunil textile, whatever the people who are coming there. Will that be just like, no, we can really like that, even you don't come. Then by the time hours, in hours, the system is idle, right? There are no customers to produce skills. Then depending on that, this is going in seconds, minutes, the cycle. Therefore, this life cycle will iterate over the time durations depending on the demand of the business. Right. Now I'll take another example. Hope that you can understand this, especially behind the data processing life cycle. Now the example I can. Still, we need this, right? These backgrounds are required, especially for our chapter 4, the GTL lesson, and even the chapter 12, not chapter 12, chapter 11, right? The IoT part, we need this. That's why I'm going to introduce you. You people know well about air conditioners. Right. What do they do? They produce cool air. How do they cool the environment? It has a certain whatever the veins. So they will release you cool air. How can the air be pumped into the air conditioner? It is circulating there. You people know this, right? Now here in this room, we have the air. They are being taken in, and by the cooling units in it, they release the cool air to the room. This taking the available air, cooling it and releasing it. That's how the room temperature will be managed. Right. Now, when it comes to the air conditioner, can we set the temperature into expected temperature value? Yes. So then, in the air conditioner, I may set the temperature to be maintained as 24. And the command to the air conditioner is keep the room temperature in 24 degrees of Celsius. That's a command. In this case, are there data handled by the air conditioner? Okay, the data handler. What is it? Should this keep monitoring the room temperature? At the moment, what is the room temperature? Should that be monitored by the air conditioner? Or not? Then easier for the keep the room temperature as 24 degrees of Celsius. Room cool air, cool. If this is going to be continued, what will happen to the room temperature? Won't it get reduced step by step? What will happen? Like freeze like this. Keeps on doing cooling though, right? Takes the air. Other than if the surrounding is giving you heat, the room temperature will be reducing. I want to keep the temperature as 24. After that, I don't want to get it down. That's why I said to you that we need to have a sensor here. There is going to be a temperature sensor. What is that doing? Keeps observing the room temperature. What is the current temperature of the room? Assume that now something like this. The room temperature has been detected as 27 at the moment. I have given the command to keep the room temperature as 24. What is the appropriate air conditioner? Will that cool the air taken in or not cool the air taken in? Cool it. If the room temperature is higher than the expected level, it has to cool it further. Now the room temperature has been detected as 23. Takes the cool air. Should that be cool or not cool? Not cool. The room temperature is lower than the given value. Then if I cool it further, it's going to be down. Then in the air conditioner, you people know that there's an outdoor heat available fixing the outside of the room with a big fan and things like that. This is a cooling unit where we have the compressor and many other gadgets are there. Now, this entire system, this system still applied into the data processing life cycle. Did you notice it? What is that life cycle of data? Creating, manipulating, removing. Is that used in this air conditioning system? Is this handling data? Is the data again? Room temperature. Is that cyclically handled according to that creation, manipulation, and removal? Now helping. What is the data creation in it? Who creates the data into the air conditioner? Air conditioner data create the counter system again. Who created that? Barcode reader. In this case, who created the data? What is the process? Keep cooling the gadget. Whatever the air taken in will be cool. This is the command given. Keep the temperature as 24 degrees of Celsius. Then how can the air conditioner knows that the current room temperature is 27, 22? How does it know? Based on the value read by the sensor. Is this the room temperature? Is this the data to decide whether the cooling to be started or not to start the cooling? You have observed that, right? This outdoor, in some cases, when you are in outdoor, you see that they start effect. That means it starts cooling. Then, if the room temperature is somewhere like 23, should that be on or off? This all. This takes a cool air release. That's all. Nothing to be cool. But if it is somewhere like 27, this is started and start cooling. You got the idea? So then, the starting of the cooling unit, not starting the cooling unit, decision is made by whom? Room temperature. Now, what is the data handled in this air conditioning system? Room temperature. Who creates those data? Temperature sensor. Now, in this case, the data creation is done by the temperature sensor. Do you agree with me? Sensor will create the data by observing the room temperature. They got it. Now they read the temperature as 27. Then the air conditioner will decide, I have to keep cooling. They manipulate that. What is the data manipulation? What is manipulation with respect to the air conditioner? Make the decision whether to start the cooling unit or not to start the cooling unit. And based on the temperature, the company will decide. Now here we have small company decision making part. We call this company as embedded compressor. We learn them. And then that will decide, okay, we will start it. And then give the signal to start it. Now this is started and making the cooling job continuous. Then after some time, the temperature sensor will create the next data in the next cycle. So that the earlier temperature has to be removed. That has to be removed. And according to the system configurations, the temperature sensor will read the next time interval, next room temperature, next time interval. Say that this is done in each minute. Read the room temperature in each minute. And now, first minute we read it, manipulate those data, deciding to turn it on, keeps turn on, and clearing the data. In the next minute, again read the next set of data. What happened to the earlier data we read? Remove. And the new data will be the one to process. Now, this is another place where the life cycle of data is applied. So, wherever, that's the idea. Life cycle of data is applied into any system where it is processing the things cyclically. You understand that? So this is one another example where it is practically applied. Then now what I want to say is the iteration, the cycle iterate in every 1 minute now, unlike shopping counter. Shopping counter, whenever the customer comes, the cycle will start. Make it here, in every minute, the keeps on continuing. So like us, when you take any event, things going on. Even in our vehicles, we have this. Okay? So then sometimes our vehicle has this, what is that? Auto braking system. Modern vehicles. Then there's a sensor to measure the distance from an obstacle. So that keeps on reading. Right? Read the distance. In the next millisecond now, it's not minutes, right? Second to second, they have read the distance, right? Otherwise, whenever you are going to get closer, we have to stop the vehicle. Then in millisecond, they read it and count in the distance. If the distance comes to a certain critical level, they will give the signal to the brakes. Now apply brake. So that's still cyclically going. Likewise, there are many places, many means every place, every system is running in life cycle of data. You got the idea? This is laid in the background, right? How the air conditioner works, how that barcode reader works, how these sensors are working. with respect to our data and information. So very important facts. Good example, I don't want to go for much more details. Just one another example behind this life cycle of data, right? Just say another example. Like turn on. Next example is turn on, turn off, turn off, or turn on, sense off. The cooling unit, the cooling unit of the air conditioner, the cooling unit of the air conditioner is continued based on the data, based on the data, which is the room temperature, based on the data, which is the room temperature read by room temperature read by the temperature sensor, read by the temperature sensor fixed into the air conditioner, fixed into the AC. Next point, still on the same example, right? One more point. The cycle iterates, that means repeats. Cycle iterates, repeats in around 1 minute, to read the room temperature. Right? I didn't explain all the steps in it removal processing. You can understand that based on the previous example I gave in detail. But then further I will go for the next step. That is uh, the big data concept. So rather than going to the next step, since it is a quite another new part, we better go for a new day. But other than that, what about the next day plan? Now today is 12th. Next week is 19th. I think it's somewhere during this New Year holidays. But what about you, people? Okay to do the class or not? I'm ready for any decision, right? Normally, the pattern is before the New Year, at least tomorrow is New Year, right? Okay. So before the New Year, people are okay. Then after the New Year, the problem comes, right? When the holidays are there, then people are arranging parties and many more things. Especially who was celebrating with you. Yeah, it's fine. You two are not right. You had your celebrations already. Somehow, in mind, I'm ready to do the class on 19th. What about you people? Shall we? Where are you? What about you? Next day, Saturday morning. I'm okay. But we'll do that. You're coming from Mathare. You're online learning. So for the moment, we'll decide, right? So in case if it is not, I think you have WhatsApp group, right? In the class, we have WhatsApp group. Is there a way to get messages? No. Nice. Hmm. Obviously, like, try to compare that honestly, then I'll get it more comfortable. Like in the other side, because like, no, your name, and the contact number. But if you write your school as well, then I'll create a small group so that I can communicate with you. Then what we did today are fine for that, especially for you. Fine, right? Then you can cover the first things from the recording. Is there a way to access the recording? I think it is published into the Faraday YouTube channel, right? You may check that. Or else you may search my name, right? In YouTube, you can get the recording. Then complete the note with that as well. Hopefully, we'll do the class. In case I don't know what will happen, there are a couple of opportunity I can't do the class. So, of the holiday, hopefully you want to found the what are the things for you to find? You got it. Today, what are the subjects you are reading? Ah, something else. What are the